So this one says, your statues are white Spaniard. You choose the white side. Hispanics are white and native. You don't even know who you are. First of all, Spaniards are white because they came from Europe. Spain is in Europe. Anybody from Europe is technically white race. Hispanic isn't a race. Hispanic is an ethnicity. So my race is white and my ethnicity is Hispanic. Most people don't understand that. They think that their race is Hispanic, but Hispanic ain't a race. The second thing they said, Hispanics are white and native. No, bro, that's not true. Hispanics come from Spain, which is in Europe. So that means they were just Spanish. The name of Spain used to be called Hispania, and now it's España. So people that were Hispanic were people that came from Spain. So if you have Hispanic blood, that means you have blood from Hispaniola, Spanish. Spanish isn't white and native, like this person said. That's a mestizo. White and native mixture is a mestizo. The word mestizo came from the Spanish word mixture. And me, I have Hispanic, native, and German, and that's just what I know. I didn't know my dad. I don't know a lot of my family, but what I could trace back, what I know I have in my blood for sure, would be Spanish, Native American from Tesuque Pueblo, and German from my grandma's side. So that would make me a coyote, mixed blood. Then they ended it by saying, you don't even know what you are. Well, it seems to me that you don't know what you are. I know exactly what I am. I know what race is. I know what the ethnicity is. I know my traditions. I know my culture. I know my history. I know the legends. I know the lore. So yes, I know who I am, because to understand your history and where you come from, that's how you understand who you are. I'm from New Mexico. I have native blood that's tied to this land for thousands of years. I have Hispanic blood that's been tied to this land for 500 years. And then I have German blood that I don't know when the fuck they came, but I know it's in my blood. Nobody's 100% anything anymore. Not even the Native Americans are probably 100% pure Native American. Anyway, I just wanted to reply to this comment. Okay, so I had to respond to this real quick. This person said, why the would anyone tip you? Go get your own feria. So this comment was referring to my Buy Me a Coffee page. I was telling people I started a new Buy Me a Coffee page where they could go send me $5 for a cup of coffee, or if they want to buy me 2 or 3 cups of coffee, you know, it gives you options that they could go to that page and they could contribute. I explained that it's kind of like a tip for people who appreciate what I do and the content that I make myself and put out there daily. Not only do I post videos about New Mexico history, but every single day I have a new What Happened Today in History video. What, you think I go find those from somewhere else and post them? No, I make those videos every single day. So there's that. Then on top of that, I teach people the difference between race and ethnicity, what Hispanic and Chicano means, mestizo, genizado. I've taught them all New Mexico history. So he asks me on this comment, why the fuck would anyone tip you? Well, believe it or not, the knowledge that I've shared through my TikTok, my YouTube, and all my other social medias has actually given a lot of value to a lot of people, not just here in New Mexico, but to a lot of people everywhere. And then he ends it by saying, go get your own feria, with some clown emojis, like he's calling me a clown, I guess, right? Well, first of all, what do you think I'm doing? I am getting my own feria. I don't get paid for this. My TikTok is monetized, but there's so many crybabies. Most of my videos get flagged and demonetized that by the end of the month, I've made 15 bucks maybe. Some months 30 on a good month. And that's if I'm lucky. I've had only $2 or $3 one month, not even enough to put it to my PayPal card. So I started this Buy Me a Coffee page where people could contribute. They don't have to. If they want to, they can. That's all I'm saying. It's not a scam, it's a hustle. There's a difference. I've been working on my YouTube page as well. I started it in August of 2023, so it's only been about 16 months, and I'm already at almost 1.5 thousand followers. So once that gets monetized, that should be another source of income for me. I don't make videos talking about the media or rap or, you know, shit like that. Not hating on people who do that, because sometimes I watch those videos on YouTube. They entertain me. But I make videos about history and knowledge and facts. New Mexico. Anyway, this one says, in your last words, que viva, further reinforces what I said. You use white Spanish words because that's what you choose to follow. White Spaniard. So in Santa Fe and Española, maybe Albuquerque, but I know for sure in northern New Mexico, for our fiestas, we say que viva. Que viva Don Diego de Vargas is what we say in Santa Fe. Que viva Oñate is what they say in España. So a couple days ago, this person here was telling me that I choose the white Spanish side. They were trying to tell me that there's a difference between white Hispanic and brown Hispanic. No, there isn't. There's Hispanic, which means they came from Hispania, which used to be the name for Spain. And then there's mestizos. So when you see Hispanic people with darker skin, the dark skin that you're seeing is the indigenous in their blood. The light skin you see when you look at light skin Hispanics is mostly because they have more European, which is from Spain, and maybe they have other races like me. I have Germanic and Spanish. But I also have Tesuque Pueblo. You don't see that much in my skin, but it's there. I have a great grandma who is from Tesuque Pueblo. I never knew her, never got to meet her. It's just what I know. So that would be my mom's dad's mom or grandma. So like my great grandma or great great grandma was from Tesuque Pueblo. Anyway, so this person is saying because we say que viva, we're choosing white Spanish words. First of all, I don't even know what that means. Spanish is Spanish. Now there's a difference in the way people speak Spanish, because when Spanish came to the New World, they settled in the Caribbean. So if you go to the Caribbean, you know, you go to Cuba, Puerto Rico, they'll be speaking a different kind of Spanish. You come inland to Mexico, Colombia, Guatemala, Chile, you know, South America, North America, they speak Spanish different. And the reason for this is because they mixed with whatever indigenous culture was in the area. In some words, they use, like guacamole, chocolate. These are words that came from the indigenous Mexican language. It was chocolate, but they added the chocolate, guacamole, but they added the guacamole. And I could go on and on. There's many words that have changed because of the impact of the indigenous culture and language, and they mixed. But when you go to Spain, northern Spain, especially like the Basque region, they speak a certain kind of Spanish. You come to New Mexico, northern New Mexico specifically, they speak a certain kind of Spanish. It's because out here in New Mexico, we speak more of the old Spanish than the people down there in Mexico. The more north you go, it seems like, the more we use the Spanish of our ancestors. That's why if you go to Cruces, Roswell, Carlsbad, they'll be speaking Spanish, more Mexican Spanish. Then you go more north, and once you hit Albuquerque, Santa Fe, España, Taos, northern New Mexico, we speak the way we speak. It's a different kind of Spanish. That's also why 89.1 KANW New Mexico music is a different style of Spanish, because we speak Spanish different and we're New Mexico made. We honor our ancestors, not just the Spanish, we also honor the indigenous ancestors. Here in New Mexico, we understand who we are, and we like to represent it because it's Zia Strong, as I said before. And then this one right here says, Spaniards are colonizers. Correction, Spaniards were colonizers. When it came to colonizing what we now call the Americas, they were colonizers and they did it brutally. Now we are just the descendants of our ancestor colonizers. Now if you go to Spain, those people living today currently in Spain, those are Spaniards, and I don't think they're colonizing anything. I think that time in history is already over. They had their time in history in the 1500s, even the 1600s, but in the 17 and 1800s, they fell, and now Spaniards are just kicking it in Spain doing what they do. I never claimed to be a Spaniard. I'm a Hispanic from New Mexico. I've said it 100 times. And this one says, knew you was a fake as along. Wow. If you could at least spell, I think he's trying to say he knew I was a fake all along. First of all, you should learn how to spell. Second of all, don't be internet banging. Third of all, when you see me in person, tell me how you feel and we'll just leave it at that. So this one says, like y'all had Europe, the reason you guys came. So for context, this person is talking about Hispanics being immigrants since our ancestors came from Spain 500 years ago. And that pisses me off, bro, so I want to talk about this. My ancestors did come from Spain 500 years ago, 400 years ago, and over time. So my people have been here for hundreds of years. This is my home. My ancestors have called this home the Spanish ancestors for 500 years. My native ancestors have called it home for thousands of years. Either way, we're all American. According to historians, the Native Americans thousands and thousands of years ago, during the last ice age, came across the Bering Strait. So, if that's the case, thousands and thousands of years ago, even Native Americans came from Asia. And I kind of believe this theory, because when you look at people from Asia, or the Eskimos in Alaska, and then you look at Native Americans, if you were to not look at their skin color, but look at the rest of their body features, like their eyes, their cheekbones, everything, they do look similar from the north all the way to from Alaska all the way to the south in South America. So to me, with common sense, that tells me that they probably came from a common ancestor. And by historians guessing that they came across the Bering Strait Granted, that's just a theory. It doesn't mean they did. But if they did, should we tell you Native Americans, go back to Asia? This wasn't your home at one time either. At one time, this was just home to the dinosaurs. Only they belong here. No, bro, no. This is our home now. Our ancestors came 500 years ago, took this land brutally, but why the fuck do you keep blaming us? Then you guys call us racist. I get demonetized on TikTok for speaking the truth, but people like this are really racist. They're telling us to go back home when we're American citizens, and we have been since America was America. Listen, when the state of New Mexico first became a territory of the United States in 1847, that's when it became United States of America. It became an official state in 1912, but we've been a territory since 1847. So any of our ancestors born here from 1847 and on were American citizens. Before that, for 35 years, between 1821 and 1846, they would have been Mexican citizens. Before that, they would have been citizens of the Kingdom of New Spain. And before the 1500s, they would have just been citizens of whatever tribe they were from if they were Native American, right? My whole point is that I'm trying to tell you, we all share blood and we're all Americans now, no matter what. It doesn't matter where our ancestors came from 500 years ago. Does it matter that your ancestors came from a different continent thousands of years ago? No, it don't, because you came and you made this home. That's why they call the Native Americans the First Nations, because you guys are the First Nation. Well, if that's the case, then you should start calling the Spanish the Second Nations, because we were the second ones to come to the New World. And then after the Spanish, that's when the Anglos from England started coming, the British. Then the Americans kicked them out and became Americans. Then they started moving west. So pretty much the Anglos started moving west. So if the Native Americans are the First Nations, the Spanish should be the Second Nations. And we shouldn't be fighting about this shit, because it's both of our home and we share blood. The one thing that we do share is the common blood of our ancestors, Native Americans and Hispanic, most of us. Now, some of you might be pure Native or think you are, but I'm telling you, like I said before in another video, there's nobody that's 100% anything anymore. Show me a DNA result that will tell you 100% Native American or whatever indigenous tribe. Show me any DNA report that will tell you somebody is 100% anything. Show me, prove me wrong, because nobody isn't. The world has went through so many phases and mixtures of cultures and races that we're all a bunch of coyotes, period. Don't hate who you are. Okay, here we go again. Now, I hate getting into this type of stuff, but I hate people spitting false facts at me and misinformation, so I gotta clear it up. Now, this one says, you're behind. Try catching up. Trump was convicted in court that he was guilty of raping that lady. That you can't change, do your homework. That you can't change, do your homework. Okay, so I want to set the record straight. Everybody's running around talking about, oh, if Trump's a felon, how could he run for president? If they should take felon off of all the fucking lists for jobs and blah, blah, blah. Okay, applications and shit, I get it. Okay, listen. There's a court process in the way that court works. Me, as a 9-time convicted felon, I know how the court process works. I've been to prison 4 times. I've had to go through the court process so many times. When you first get charged with the crime, they take it to the grand jury. And if the grand jury thinks there's enough evidence to take it to court, then they'll indict you. And if not, they'll dismiss it. They indicted him on these 34 counts. Then he has to go to trial, right? Somebody told me he's appealing his case. You can't appeal a case that you haven't went to trial for. He's not convicted. He's indicted. If he was convicted, he probably wouldn't be able to run for president. I'm a convicted felon. You think I could run for president? And about him being convicted of rape. Wow. You watch The View, huh? You listen to all those stupid bitches on The View. Well, let me tell you, those bitches are wrong and The View needs to be canceled. They're always on some bullshit, getting caught in their lies, having to read lawyer notes. By the way, George Stephanopoulos of ABC just got sued from Donald Trump for always calling him a rapist like this on the news. Well, he got sued because Trump has never been convicted of rape, charged with rape. There's never been a rape in his past. I don't even know why people keep bringing up that word. His 34 felonies are concerning classified documents. When he left the White House, he took boxes of classified documents with him and he didn't return them for a long time. He's real interested in the JFK case. My suspicion is he was probably reading all the paperwork, you know, stuff that is classified. He wanted to read it. He wanted to check it out. Maybe he has dirt on the government. Maybe he made copies of them before he gave them back. Who knows? I don't know. But it was classified documents. It wasn't nothing to do with rape. Now, what most people are thinking of is when he got sued by Stormy Daniels. That had nothing to even do with sexual abuse at all. What that was is he had sex with a porn star named Stormy Daniels after he had sex with her. And by the way, this was before he was president in 2016 and everything. This was, I don't know what year, but it was before he was president and everything. When he was running for president, this is when all this came out because they're trying to dirty his name. They're trying to charge him with felonies. They're trying to do everything they could to not make him be president. If you notice, in 2016, when Trump was first president, they had him on The View, calling him a friend. They were all cool with him. 4 years later, everybody hated him. Why do you think that is? It's because they like a president they could control. People in government like a president they could control. They can't control Trump. And that's why they're scared of him. So they tried to kill him. They try anything they can to make him not get elected. He got elected. Now they're saying that they're going to try to block it in Congress. They're trying everything they can. But how much do you want to bet? Trump is going to take office in January 21st. And then he's going to fix everything he can. And if they try to stop him in Congress, have you heard of executive order? He'll just issue executive orders and get the shit that he needs to get done. Now, back to the Stormy Daniels thing. So back in the day, Trump was married to his wife. I don't know which one. He's been married to a few. He was married to a wife at the time, right? He fucked a porn star on the side, Stormy Daniels, who's a nasty bitch. I can't stand her. He paid her money. He gave her a good amount of money to not say nothing, so that way he don't get in trouble with his wife, I would assume, or that way it don't end up on news. He was a big business mogul. Maybe he didn't want his name out there like that, so he paid her what they call hush money, right? She took the money and agreed to keep her mouth shut. Now, Stormy Daniels took the money, said she would keep her mouth shut, and then she went and told on Donald Trump and started that whole scandal. So who's really in the wrong? Stormy Daniels, I would say, for taking the money, making an agreement, and then going and opening her mouth anyway. And by the way, that wasn't rape. It was consensual sex. She's a porn star. She was pretty much a prostitute in that situation. She fucked Trump willingly, consensually, and then he paid her to just not say nothing about it so we don't get in trouble. In trouble with his wife, in trouble with the news and his business. Just, you know how that shit ends up on the paper and all these stupid ass magazines in the store. That's what Trump was trying to avoid, but she opened her mouth, he got in trouble, and that's what that was. He got sued. But it was no rape, no sex offense, and that was way before he was president. So tell me what's worse, Trump fucking a prostitute and paying her to shut the fuck up, and then her going and opening her mouth, or Bill Clinton getting head from his secretary in the White House? Exactly. Okay. So today I came on here to talk about this guy that you guys all know, who is also popular on TikTok, way more popular than me. I have 24,000 followers. He has, I don't know how much. I think he has more than me. I don't watch him. But the people who watch me also watch him, and they reached out to me and told me I should do a video with him. Now this man's name is Wayward Son 360. When you guys asked for that, I hit him up. I told him I respected what he does, you know, teaching the Native American people, teaching his beliefs from his heart, and I respect that. And he teaches the truth. So, well, for the most part, right? And I'll say why I say for the most part in a minute. But he always ignored me. Every time I hit him up, he ignored me. Then I was watching a video that came out by him where he was saying that he don't honor that which is dishonorable, or he doesn't honor that which isn't honorable. And by that, he was talking about Hispanic blood. And when I heard that, I was like, damn, now I really want to debate this fool. Because you have Native Americans that I've seen on TikTok, and you have a lot of bullshit on TikTok, just like you do at a college campus, a bunch of that liberal shit. Anyway, you have a bunch of natives teaching that Hispanic blood is tainted, that Hispanic blood is evil, that Hispanic people are evil because of what our ancestors did. That rhetoric in itself is harmful, hateful, and racist. So Wayward 360, you're racist for telling people that Hispanic blood is tainted. That would be like me saying, oh, black people blood is tainted because they used to be slaves and my ancestors were slaveholders. And just so you know, I don't have no slaveholders ancestry in my DNA. Maybe I do, I don't fucking know. Maybe there were slaveholders in my past, what do I know? But that would be like me saying all black people have tainted blood now. Or something like that, right? That's what you're saying, that all Hispanics have tainted blood because of what our ancestors did hundreds of years ago. First of all, let me make a point here. How does that even make sense to call all Hispanic people tainted since we have Hispanic blood and we represent it? Just because we represent our culture, our traditions, who we are, and we're proud of who we are, we're not ashamed of who we are, that makes you racist. Have you guys heard of reparations? So the Native Americans and the black community are both the ones calling out for reparations. The blacks want the white people to pay for them being slaves in the past, even though nobody alive today has ever been a slave. Their great-great-great-grandmas and grandpas might have been in slavery, and then when the slaves were free, they actually owned their own ranches. The lawman Bass Reeves became a fucking marshal, the first black marshal, and there was a lot of people that owned ranches and were in government positions. So when slavery was first abolished, and then after they worked out separation, whatever they called it, where they had to drink out of black water fountains, white water fountains, black restroom, you know, once they abolished all that, racism kind of ended. Black people started doing good. It wasn't until the 1980s maybe the 70s, 60s, when the drug epidemic hit, that the black community started falling again, and now you see a lot of black poverty. Well, you see the same in Hispanic communities, right? Because we fell victim to the drug epidemic as well. If you go to a prison, you're mostly going to run into Hispanics. White people, black people, Hispanics, and a little bit of natives. But the natives are mostly in the feds. I did my time in the state. But anyway, that's not right, bro. Would it be right for me to make the Mayans pay for the reparations for all the conquests they did in the 600s, 700s, 800s? The Mayans were conquering Mexico. Should we make them pay the other indigenous tribes for having to conquer them? And how about the Aztec, the Mexica? That's an even better example. They came from north of the Rio Grande. They didn't even come from Mexico. They came and they conquered a big chunk of Mexico. So should the Aztec people, the Nahua people, have to pay reparations to the rest of the indigenous people in Mexico since their ancestors conquered their ancestors? Or how about the Vikings, the Norsemen? Should they have to pay the English and the French for all the conquering they did in France and England? No, bro, they shouldn't. Over time, their blood mixed. Now you have English blood, Viking blood, Celtic blood. You have all that blood in England. Just like over here, you have Native American blood, Spanish blood, and we're all mixed. No, we shouldn't be held accountable for something our ancestors did. I never denied anything they did. I teach history and I teach it true no matter what. Yes, our ancestors were brutal. There was good ones and there was bad ones, and the bad ones were very bad. Cortez, Guzman, Oñate, you know the names and you know what they did. They did evil, horrendous shit. But what does that have to do with us? Do you think everybody in Asia that has Mongol blood hates that they have Mongol blood because of what Genghis Khan did over there? Do you think everybody that has Viking blood hates their Viking blood because their Viking ancestors just ran over nations and tore them up and burned all their churches and took all their shit? No, bro. Instead, they go undig their Viking ships, they undig these bones, they make museums, they teach their history. But over here in New Mexico, I try to teach the history, but then you have these Native Americans who want to start crying about it, saying that I'm teaching it wrong. First of all, I got love for Native Americans. Bro, I have Native American in my blood from Tesuque Pueblo, and I've told you guys that. But I also have love for my Hispanic blood. I grew up in the Hispanic traditions, the Hispanic culture. I'm from northern New Mexico, bro. I have family from Texas, and they're proud to be Hispanic. The people in California, I don't know, bro. They kind of hate being Hispanic, too. They're on that indigenous blood, and Hispanics are monsters shit too. And so I want to have a debate with this guy Wayward Son, but he don't want to have a debate with me because he says he don't honor that which is dishonorable or whatever. So I guess that means he's calling me a dishonorable man because I speak the truth. And that's what's wrong with this new generation. Wayward Son isn't this new generation. He's older than me, but he's teaching the new generation hateful theories, hateful ideas, hateful speech, but yet I got demonetized on TikTok for speaking the truth. I get demonetized for hateful speech and racist behavior. I'm not racist, bro. You're the one that's racist for telling everybody that Hispanic blood is tainted. That's kind of like what Adolf Hitler was saying about the Jewish people. So, come on, bro. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with this. I'm sorry, I forgot. If I forgot to say anything, I'll do a follow-up video. This is Tragedy. Thank you for watching. I'm out.